It has been 5 years since our planet has had a last chance to just take a deep breath and get some rest. 5 years since we first came up with course and aesthetics. 5 years since we either gained some weight because of staying inside for too long or becoming a homemade version of gym rats. 5 years since we used teachers' voices as our lullaby. And 5 years since we supported the shit out of the Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah, 2020 was 5 years ago. Some people do believe that that was the year when we got cursed by some evil witch, and that's why everything you see around is just hell and the world has been going downhill since then. Some people do miss it and really want to bring back the subtle vibe that 2020 had to bring. And in my case, I choose the latter. I really want to choose the latter. Based on my videos and on my channel, you are clearly able to tell that I tend to get nostalgic, sometimes even overly nostalgic, and 2020 is not an excuse. I do really miss it a lot sometimes, and with that being said, why don't we just go through some authentic moments that 2020 had, or that we had in 2020, and just think of why exactly 2020 was iconic in its own way. And before we do that, as always, please subscribe to this channel. You cannot imagine how important your support is. It's the most valuable currency on this channel. Thank you so much. Now, when I say 2020, first couple of things that come to my mind is COVID, TikTok, and face masks. And out of these three, I would rather talk about TikTok, or something that I called the rise of TikTok. Musically died, never came back. TikTok was born. These golden times when TikTok did not have any editing tool. The only somewhat cool, wasn't cool at all, like editing tool that TikTok had to offer, which is like little filters that you could choose. Later on, TikTok has become one of the most comforting apps that you could ever find. Everything was funny, everything was relatable, everything was entertaining, and definitely not exhausting. That would not be the word you would use. It wasn't exhausting because first, you couldn't profit off your content at all as far as I remember, and nobody knew anything about local algorithms. I don't even know if they existed back then. It should have, but like nobody really cared. Everybody was just there in the moment. The only couple of things that we did care was homemade iced latte, I believe it was. People came up with a recipe on how to make an iced latte that they tried in Starbucks. Nobody could go into Starbucks, of course, everything was locked. I don't remember what kind of drink exactly that was. I believe it was latte. And I remember the little spinning tool that you used to like stir everything together. You should remember about the coffin meme. About Charli D'Amelio and Hype House, which was, oh my god. I believe this is one of the major aspects of why exactly people miss 2020, because it was iconic. It was iconic. Everybody was choosing a role model out of the Hype House members and learning every single dance moves that they came up with. When it comes to dancing, I'm the worst person to ask because the only dance move that I remember is this. But what I vividly remember is the music and the songs that people used to use in order to like come up with dance moves. Doja Cat, Megan Thee Stallion, and some other big artists that became even bigger with the rise of TikTok. Every single time any song from 2020 gets played, especially Doja Cat, it just literally places me back to my room in 2020, and it just gives me such a warm feeling. How about POV time? Besides learning dance moves, we also learned some new terms. For example, POV. Yes, 2020 was the first year that we ever heard this term, this acronym. I swear to God, if I were out of focus this whole time, a lot of people did not know what POV meant, including me, so I vividly remember me Googling what that was. And you see, it still exists. We still see this kind of content everywhere. The only thing that kind of like extinct back in 2020 never came back is the horny ass category of POV videos. And I hope you know what I'm talking about. Baby, what you wishing for? Maybe you wishing more. If you can't remember, don't worry, I'll refresh your memory. The LED lights, especially red color LED lights. Doesn't ring a bell? Well, it should. Every single soul and their mother was purchasing an LED lights, especially those like strap LED lights that you just glue onto your wall. A bunch of people were making a tutorial on how to achieve a specific shade of color once you own these lights. It was a big thing, but I've never owned these. Now let's talk about something that TikTok has created and we've never witnessed before. Indie Kidcore, which entailed bright makeup, abnormally saturated pictures that hurt your eye every time you try to glance at them, neon or patterned clothing, something the world was lacking of back then, colors, no minimalism, And mind you, if you own a light blue shirt with some butterflies and angels on it, you're a platinum baddie, okay? Funny seeing how people now sell it on Depop. I was sort of boring back back in 20. I do remember all these things, but I've never owned anything that kind of like belonged to 2020, including this. I think we should all just keep them as a memory. At least one t-shirt, one pair of pants, but that's a relic. That's a true relic. To make our boring life back in 2020 more colorful, we used to add some beads on our shoelaces, customize our face mask with some paint or something like little accessories, I guess. Wear a lot of crop tops and baby tees, oversized t-shirt over long sleeves. We went crazy, so even our hair did not have a chance to just stay away from it. Do you remember the front bleach strands? Do you remember cutting your own bangs at home? I do. Yeah, people used to pick up any scissors that they had in their vicinity and just cut their own bangs. That was a big thing. But to be honest, it looks like 2020 and the global lockdown actually helped us get comfortable with our own style and the way we portray ourselves. We wanted to show our true selves to the outside world. That's why you see such a big variety of styles and aesthetics, from heavy punk emo to the Barbie in real life, which is, I feel like that was a good thing. You didn't have to, and also you couldn't show your outfits to the real people in real life, but you were so comfortable doing that to the people on the internet. And people would love you for it. TikTok would love you for it. But not only your clothing style, but also your room decoration has evolved. I've already mentioned the LED lights. How about when people used to hang CDs in their room? And that looked cool, actually. And another thing that I do remember, people used to poke holes in their Monster like energy drink. Just poke some holes and put some little lights into the bottle, so you make like a little nightstand light. Okay, so we brought up our clothing styles, we brought up our appearance, we brought up room decoration. What else? What else was so crucially important in 2020? Let me think. Yes, you guessed it right. One and only Chloe Ting workouts. Now, if we're gonna trust good and old Google, Chloe Ting is an Australian fitness personality YouTuber. She's known as the most subscribed fitness content creator on YouTube, and for her workout programs, particularly her 2-week shred challenge, which went viral on TikTok and YouTube during pandemic in 2020. Exactly. Let's let aside the fact that she turned out to have BBL.
Of course they were fake!
So yeah, she used to have whole workout plan, not only one, couple of them, depending on your goal in the area of your body. And yeah, 2-week shred challenge is something that was absolutely phenomenal to the internet back then. Now, three categories of people who used to do her workouts: people who couldn't go to the gym and they wanted to do at least something at home. One, people who didn't like their physique or were just very anxious to go to the gym, and people who were just bored. And who, if not me, would tell you how exactly it felt doing her workouts? I did not like my body. Absolutely devastating now looking at me back then, because I just had a normal body. But anyway, I was doing her workout. I believe each of her workouts were like 10 minutes or so, but for me it lasted like good 30 minutes. I was low-key proud of myself, you know. She brought me the feeling of like being in shape, working to get my dream body, even if that wasn't like an intense workout. Still, like I was able to see results, and if I will not be too shy to show it to you, I'll show it to you. Also, why people loved her so much is because not only people had a chance to do her workout routines, people had a chance to see her reaction, because regularly she was making like a big video of reacting to people doing her workout plans and like seeing the result. She was very encouraging. She could suggest you something. She could just react to it in like a silly, funny way. I'm glad that I had a chance to avoid it, but I know a lot of people now complain about having back pain issues because of her workout. See, I'm not like an athlete, I'm not a gym rat to tell you what exactly was wrong in her workout. I believe some of the exercising that she was completing wrong and teaching people wrong thing, I don't know. I really can't tell you. And if you ask me how this whole Chloe Ting era has started, I have no clue. It's either her professional marketing team or just one person on TikTok who decided to share what they're doing at home. You know, maybe my body was not traumatized, thank God, knock on wood, but my brain was and still is, because every time I say her name, all I can hear in my head is just like ding ding. It's a trauma. It's a real trauma. It's a sound of pure suffering and a note of sweet relief after. That's what it is for me. But again, I would thank her just for the experience. I was insanely insecure about my appearance and my body, and just having a chance to be motivated enough to do these kind of workouts was a big thing for me. So thank you, Chloe Ting. You were me moment. I was doing her workout simultaneously with my Zoom classes, and every time I think of it, I feel like at some point we just got lucky at school. Nobody wanted to go to school, obviously. Nobody wanted to do anything when it comes to school. It's school, it sucks, you know? And thinking of it, when Zoom just launched, I remember how it took our teachers like a fat minute to learn how this app works. So sometimes if a teacher could not connect to a Zoom call, you didn't have a class. So instead of spending time from 9 a.m. to like 4 p.m. like your normal classes would, you could just spend like 1 hour on your classes because 50% of your teachers could not connect to a Zoom call. And those who could only limited the class for like 20 minutes at first. Eventually they did get advanced though, which is a sad thing for me. But it was funny. The beginning of Zoom was funny to me. Like I remember people in your class doing some funny, silly backgrounds, or when I was pretending that my microphone didn't work so I didn't have to answer a teacher's question. Or if you're really in a bad mood or you're really not feeling it, you could just hang up, leave the call, and leave a message in the group chat of your class that, you know, your internet doesn't work or something. And it worked every single time. You see, that's what we call nostalgia. I've been filming this video for a while, you've been watching it for a while, and at least for me, I haven't even noticed how the time flew that fast. But thank you 2020 for bringing that many positive and bright moments in our life. Okay, maybe I should not say positive because like a lot of bad things were happening in that same year, but I didn't want to focus that whole video on that. We already know what was happening, right? And also thank you guys for making it this far and watching this video and tuning in. If I missed something or didn't bring something up, please let me know what exactly it was down in the comments below, or just let me know what you think of this video, what you think of 2020 in general, and I would really appreciate your comment. I guess my little message for the end of this video would be that we should not really take a lot of time looking back at 2020 because we have so many good years ahead of us. It was just nice to transfer back for a minute. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much again. I love you. Bye-bye.
I like the view.
You do?
Yes.
You're my best view.
Me.